Congressman Byron Donalds of Florida. Congressman, impeachment and a repeat impeachment inquiry. Under our Constitution, bribery and high crimes and misdemeanors, they don't mean that a president violates some specific part of the criminal code. You go back and you study this debate at the Constitutional Convention and read Madison's notes, and when you study what some of these delegates said when they went back to their states at the ratification conventions, they meant something bigger than that. They meant when a president of the United States uses his office against the public good in a way that does significant damage to the civil society, that is an impeachable offense. Of course, if a president's caught cutting deals on behalf of his son and making millions of dollars for the family, that's an impeachable offense. But I think we're missing something here when it comes to impeachment, that Joe Biden has violated our federal immigration laws. He has unleashed havoc on this society. The border is a disaster. The inhumanity that's taking place there is unbelievable. People are losing their lives. They're being raped. They're sold into sex trafficking. And the cartels now have positions in every one of our states. Cities are suffering. Rural areas are suffering because of him, his party, and his policies. Not because of Mother Nature, not because of climate change, but because of him. So I want to ask you the big question, which is this. Are Republicans who are seriously looking at this impeachment inquiry considering using the immigration issue as an article of impeachment? All the past impeachments of presidents had nothing to do with finances. And by the way, that doesn't mean they shouldn't in this case. I'm just saying, why would we overlook immigration?
So, Mark, I'll tell you, I agree with you on that. I can't speak to what Chairman Comer is going to go down the line with, because obviously we've been in all of the investigations around the foreign business dealings, and people know the story now. You've talked about this. But you are correct. Joe Biden is in violation of federal immigration law, in my view. And it's not just immigration law. The student loan bailout was a violation of separation of powers. There was no ability for the president of the United States to appropriate money to a program without Congress. Nancy Pelosi is on the record saying that multiple times, but he did it anyway. And he was defeated by the Supreme Court, and now his administration is trying to find another way to do it. And I will go back to the bribery stuff for one quick moment. When the Ukrainian invasion started, and Joe Biden said, I'm going to put all of these sanctions on all these oligarchs, there was one oligarch that wasn't on the list, Yelena Baturina, the widow of the former Moscow mayor. She was not on the sanctions list. Why is that? Because in my view, his son got $3.5 million from Yelena Baturina. So you have pay for play, you have just ridiculous violation of federal law, and you have a violation of separation of powers. Those have all occurred while Joe Biden has been president, and those are all grounds, in my view, of impeachment.
Byron Donalds, we've watched the conduct of this Department of Justice. It is corrupt through and through. The senior officials at the Department of Justice are all political bomb throws with very radical and even racist pasts. Civil Rights Division, Criminal Division, the Deputy Attorney General, the Associate Attorney General, and the Attorney General. Everything that's going on to pro-lifers, parents, the Catholic Church, even though they jump up and down and say we're not doing these things, they are doing these things. Everything that's going on to the party opposite, to the Republican Party, to President Trump, to the people around him. These are all affirmative decisions being made at the highest levels of the Department of Justice. And so this Attorney General comes before the Judiciary Committee and he pretends he's Helen Keller. He can't hear the Republican questions, but he hears all the Democrat praise. And then he doesn't know what's going on. He plays rope-a-dope. He's blaming other people and so forth. Under our system, the only way to confront him is with an impeachment inquiry, no?
No, I totally agree. When we were going through our investigations and oversight, I will tell you that basic investigative practices were flatly ignored when it came to Hunter Biden. Conversely, they're inventing ways to prosecute President Trump. I firmly believe that there is obstruction at the Department of Justice because there is no possible way the first Hunter Biden indictment gets to a federal judge without Merrick Garland knowing about about it and reading it, without Lisa Monaco, the Deputy Attorney General, knowing about it and reading about it, and frankly, with the two U.S. attorneys, one in California, one here in D.C., knowing what's going on and ignoring prosecution. That only occurs if the Department of Justice is covering up, they're blocking and tackling, and they are obstructing justice. Early on, when we broke news with the whistleblowers coming forward, I told Republicans, I believe we have two tracks of impeachment. One is on Joe Biden. We all know the story. But the second's on Merrick Garland, because Merrick Garland is the guy behind the scenes that is covering and tackling for Joe Biden and his corrupt family. That is a violation of the law, and he should go as well.
He's the mob lawyer for the Biden crime family. There's absolutely no question. Byron Donalds, you've been doing a fantastic job. God bless you and keep up the good work.
Thank you, Mark.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.